programme The Best of Luck. Now, it's not just our first guest's acting ability that's made him a firm favourite with audiences in his career, which spans over 35 years. His charm and charisma means he's still getting the ladies' man roles, from wooing Audrey Roberts as a con man in Coronation Street to his latest role as a lawyer in the comedy show Lunch Monkeys, where his female PA has fallen under his spell. Please welcome Nigel Hayford. Hello. Now, I have to ask you, I thought you were talking about us, a bunch of lunch monkeys. What does that mean?
I don't know what it means. I think it means people who skive off at lunchtime in working in offices and stuff.
Oh, so it is us.
But the show is really fun to do, and I have a lot of... And those kids in the show are fantastic actors, and I think they're destined to go far, and I have fun making it. In fact, I was doing Corrie at the same time as recording...
Okay.
So I was a bit stressed out because I used to go a quick scene on Lunch Monkeys and I'd run back and do Corrie, but...
What do you prefer, being the sort of the smoothie, which is obviously what you're known as, whether you like it or not, or the comedy?
I don't mind. I just don't mind, as long as I'm working.
Yeah.
How do you like playing a lawyer, though? Because that was basically your destiny, wasn't it?
Yes, I played the odd lawyer, actually, but because, you know, I'm acting it, I don't know anything about the law.
Would you have made a good one, though? Because your whole family
I know,
lawyers,
I'm the only
they?
one who isn't really. And I'd be terrible at it. I tell you why. Because I get very emotionally involved, and I know, you know, if I was defending someone, I'd go mad if he didn't get off, and I'd sort of kill the judge or something. Why don't you've got to be very calm. And my brother, who's a fantastic lawyer, on the one hand, he says, and on the other, he's incredibly cool and calm. I'd be... You know, so I'm no good at that.
So how do they feel about the fact that you're an actor? Your family?
They didn't really notice. I just sort of did a runner and disappeared off radar. Yeah. They never noticed, no.
Have they noticed yet?
Yeah, they're beginning to notice now, yeah.
And is it true you're going to be making a film about your father's life?
I am. You're right. We're working on this film about just one specific summer of 1967 when there was a news flash on the TV, and it was when the Rolling Stones, Mick and Keith, had been arrested for finding drugs and things. And my father, watching, said, "Well, I hope to God they don't ask me to defend them." You know, all that went. And an hour later, the phone goes, and Dad disappears and comes back, and he says, "I am defending the Rolling Stones." It's exactly what happened. And that year, now we were sworn, my brother and I were sworn to secrecy. We couldn't tell anyone that he was doing this, so... And they were the most famous guys in the world. I mean, if you think someone's famous now, those guys were amazingly famous. And we couldn't tell our mates or anything. I was bursting to tell all my friends. But I got to know them, meet them, and they came and had dinner, and they became part of our family that summer. So the film is about that little period.
And did working with them change your dad at all? Because he was a bit of a stuffed shirt before then, wasn't he?
Totally changed. You see, he met them and he fell in love with them, thought they were such smart guys, and he never wore a stiff collar again, he never wore a bowler hat, he changed him completely. He became hi, boys, he became all cool. It's a bit disconcerting, really. But you know, we love the Stones because you remember the Beatles were out at the same time. Do you remember that? And my parents liked the Beatles, so we thought, we can't like them. I mean, you can't like a band that your parents swoon over, can you? So we chose the Stones. They didn't like the Stones at all, because they were a bit rough around the edges.
That's not the only famous case, though, is it, that your family have been involved in?
No, Dad did the Yorkshire Ripper.
Did he?
Yeah. And
did he fall in love with him? And
no,
sort of...
no, he didn't. Actually, it was really...
He started behaving a bit like him and stuff.
Well, Dad, the case, I mean, I think there was no question he was going to go down. It was whether he was going to plead insanity and therefore go to a prison that would treat him less harshly. And Dad rang and said, "Do you want to come to court? Because I'm going to prosecute him today. I'm going to have him in the box today." And I said, "I'd love to." So I went, and it was just an amazing morning to see that guy. He was sitting just sort of there. And my father got up to ask a question, and he didn't speak for a minute, and the judge was thinking, what's happening? And then Dad said, "Sorry, how do you spell your name?" And he said, "Did you enjoy killing all those women?" You know, you could cut the atmosphere with a knife. It was just fantastic.
Have you ever done any writing, Nigel? Because it's such an interesting story in itself. You know, your dad's life, your grandfather's life. Have you ever written any of it down?
Well, I wrote my book, which was
But in novel form?
Well, I know,
anything
but
like
I am sort of planning to write a novel now, and I'm planning to write a historical novel, which I know people say is the most difficult thing you can write, but I've got this sort of idea, and so I've got to do it now. I have my literary agent man says, right, come on.
How lovely to have one. Hark at you.
So I'm going to... Sounds quite grand, that, doesn't it?
It does.
My literary agent.
Now,
For 1 second, I sounded intelligent. It didn't last very long.
Now, obviously, aside from all of your wonderful sort of acting CV, you did foray into the jungle, which baffled me because, of course, you'd just come out of Corian as an ex-Corrie girl and working with lovely Sue Nichols, so it certainly wasn't for profile. So I was thinking, oh, my God, Nigel Havers is going to the jungle. We've read that your wife wasn't very happy about it, so why did you make that decision?
Well, I just thought it was a year of doing sort of crazy things, and I just thought, why not? It just sounded like a bit of fun.
What was the
But it
worst
clearly
thing
wasn't.
about it? 'Cause
No,
it's-
it was actually the most boring thing I've ever done in my life. And it was the boredom that really hurt me, because I am a very active person. I like to do, you know, like all you girls, I can see, you know, you want to do things and be with people and...
Because we just see the little bits.
You just see-
If you're doing
You just see the little...
challenges and things, and
they
all the
can
big-
cut it any way they want to.
You've
It
got
can
those
make you
big
nice or
periods
nasty.
of just sitting.
And I just got so bored. And it's a very small area where you have to live. And I got... You know, I was going to kill them big Opie. Had I not got out of there. So I didn't want to go to prison, really, for that. Because I was going to kill him. And I couldn't work out how he could have been a member
your
of
dad would have
Parliament
had to
for 12
defend you
years.
against
How could he
killing
be a
them
member of
anyway?
Parliament for 12? He has no brain. Anyway, that's another story. Last night, I was having dinner with my wife in a restaurant in London, and a man came up to me, quite sort of shut. I thought, my God, that's Lembic Opie. But it was Brown Paddock,
Brian Paddock?
yes, who looks
Police
quite
guy?
like him. Yes. And said, I was well done in the jungle. I was like, oh, that's Lembic. He's going to hit me. And so, anyway...
So next time your wife says not to do anything, you listen to her,
I'm going
Nigel
to.
Havers.
She very, very nearly sort of said, right, I'm off. Quite a test, really.
Are you going to go into Corrie again, do you think?
I hope so.
Did you love it?
We're talking... I absolutely
great?
adore it. And I've got to go and say sorry to Sue, to Audrey. You know, I was in Manchester yesterday talking about it, so watch this space.
OK. Oh, Nigel, it's lovely to have you on the show
It's very,
again.
very
Nigel
kind of you
Havers,
to ask
everyone.
me. Thank you very much.